We do have breaking news tonight, a deeply divided moment playing out in American history as we come on the air. President Trump has just been impeached on both Article 1, abuse of power, and on Article 2, obstruction of Congress. The votes down party lines as predicted. And all day long here, we've been watching the short bursts of anger, the closing arguments from both sides. Democrats arguing the evidence was clear, arguing the president used the power of his office for personal and political gain with this election coming.
All right, Trump is facing impeachment articles and the possibility of jail time. And both of these are unfolding at the very same moment. And that's a monumental convergence that could change everything. Impeachment articles have been filed in the House, listing 7 different counts. There are articles covering obstruction, articles on seizing congressional power, and even an article specifically about tyranny. Tyranny. The House is officially accusing Trump of attempting to institute tyrannical rule. This isn't your standard political squabble or just Democrats acting partisan. This is a formal, institutional accusation. The charge is that Trump is attempting to become a tyrant. Meanwhile, federal judges are warning that his defiance of court orders could lead to criminal contempt, which means Trump could actually be jailed. Federal judges are issuing opinions outlining the legal path, from him ignoring court rulings to him facing jail time. Judges are saying if Trump continues defying their orders, they are prepared to hold Trump in criminal contempt. They've stated they have the means to fine him and jail him, and are outlining the exact process. So you have Congress advancing on impeachment, while judges are getting ready to hold Trump in contempt, with both branches of government concurrently, amping up the pressure on Trump. And this isn't speculation or a theory. This is happening right now. Impeachment articles have been filed. Judges already found probable cause for contempt. The whole machine is now in motion. The whole machine is moving, and Trump is running out of time to change direction. Here's the deal with Judge James Boasberg. He found Trump's administration violated his court order on deportations. Boasberg had specifically ordered that asylum seekers could not be deported. Boasberg had issued a formal injunction. He was unambiguous. Do not deport these people. Yet Trump's administration went ahead and did it. The Trump administration deported the individuals regardless. They violated the court's directive. And once Boasberg discovered this, Boasberg basically said, okay, you're in contempt. He found probable.
It is finally happening. Trump has been set to cross the bound. He has crossed the boundary, and both Democrats and Republicans are saying that it must be impeached. As a matter of fact, the Congress is saying that, and the judge also, they are saying that he has crossed the boundary, and it looks like this time around he may not escape it. As a matter of fact, 7 impeachable count is what has been leveled against him, and we'll be going through it together. I need you guys to sit tight as you go and watch those videos. And if you want to judge some stuff, go ahead and judge that, because the conversation is about to begin. It's about to get even more interesting. Let's go check out this video that I've put together for you guys, and we'll begin the conversation around this so that I can hear your views, your perceptions, and what you think and what you feel about this whole thing. Is it that the Republicans are tired of him? Obviously, the Democrats are not in support of this from day one, but now it looks like his own people are about to betray him. Credit belongs to the original creator of every stitches and video I'll be showing to you today. I'll be right back. Let's go watch it. Don't go nowhere.
I intend to bring articles of impeachment to remove this president who is normalizing violations of the Constitution. The president is saying now that someone, Democrats, have engaged in seditious behavior punishable by death. Mr. President, what is wrong with you? Don't you know that there are people who will read this and consider doing something dastardly? Sometimes you can cross a line of no return. The president crossed that line. And if we just allow it to continue, we may find ourselves at a point where we can't stand here in the well and say what I'm saying. We may find ourselves at a point in our history of the United States of America, a functioning democracy, we may find ourselves with an inability to exercise the constitutional right of free speech. This is the line. This is the solution. We're in a countdown to impeachment. I intend to bring articles of impeachment to remove this president who is normalizing violations of the Constitution.
Donald Trump has already committed 8 documented impeachable offenses in 2025. I'm going to go through each of them with examples to show you exactly why this list exists in the first place. So here they all are, and first of all, we have deployed U.S. troops against civilians. Trump has ordered the National Guard and active duty units into several U.S. cities, oftentimes against the wishes of state and local leadership and illegally. They've crashed into innocent people's cars, broken into U.S. citizens' homes, and detained them without any warrants. Number 2, he's kidnapped American residents during ICE and DHS raids. Oftentimes, these people are begging to show them identification, to which the agents respond, "I don't care, get in the car." DHS whistleblowers have said Trump's directives pressure agents into detaining first and verifying later. This violates constitutional protections against unlawful search and seizure. That brings us to number 3 here, deported migrants to foreign prisons, illegal transfer. This year, DHS confirmed that certain migrants apprehended at the border were transferred to detention facilities in Guatemala and Honduras. Legal scholars have flagged this as illegal rendition. These individuals had active asylum claims and the right to a hearing in the United States before being transferred. But we have number 4 here, targeted protesters for deportation. There have been multiple reports of ICE agents deliberately targeting foreign-born activists at these protests. But that brings us to number 5, diverted taxpayer money without Congress's approval. In mid-2025, Trump redirected hundreds of millions of dollars of FEMA emergency funds to build rapid deportation facilities. He did this without specific congressional approval for the new purpose, so it was later found to be an illegal impoundment of funds. That brings us to number 6, defied federal court orders. He's done this numerous times. Here's just one example. A federal judge ordered Trump's DHS to stop detaining asylum seekers without individualized review, and they continued doing it for weeks. That brings us to number 7, purged investigators and watchdogs. Since January, Trump has either fired or reassigned more than a dozen inspectors general, including those probing DHS misconduct, the Caribbean strike, and federal contracting abuses. He replaced several of these people with loyalists from his campaign. That brings us to number 8, corrupted federal agencies for personal and political gain. Trump has ordered the DOJ to investigate multiple of his political rivals over claims that judges found to be baseless. Trump fired a U.S. attorney because he wouldn't bring charges against one of Trump's political enemies, James Comey, and replaced him with a loyalist. The replacement was Lindsey Halligan, Trump's personal lawyer and White House aide with no prosecutorial experience. These aren't hypotheticals, and they're not from years ago. They're current, documented things Donald Trump has done this year.
For members of Congress is the solemn act to take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. With great respect and gratitude that I thank the chairs of the committees, the 6 committees who have been working to help us honor our oath of office. I also want to thank the staff of those committees and the committee members for all of their work over this period of time to help us protect and defend. I want to thank the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Nadler, chair of the Intelligence Committee, Mr. Schiff, chair of the Ways and Means Committee.
Okay, so this is absolutely massive, and I need you to pay close attention, because what is happening right now goes to the very heart of whether Trump can be stopped before he completely transforms the American government. House Democrats have filed formal articles of impeachment against President Trump. Not just one set, but multiple resolutions accusing him of high crimes and misdemeanors that they say make him unfit to serve as president. And at the same time, outside groups are ramping up pressure on his own cabinet to use the 25th Amendment as a last resort if Congress refuses to act. We are talking about the most extreme constitutional tools available being openly discussed as ways to remove a sitting president from power. This is not normal political opposition. This is Democrats and advocacy groups saying they believe the situation is so dire that every available constitutional mechanism needs to be on the table. Let me break down what is actually happening here, because this story has been building for months, and most people do not realize how serious the push to remove Trump has become among his most determined opponents. Back in April 2025, Representative Shri Thanadar from Michigan unveiled 7 separate articles of impeachment against Trump. 7 articles covering everything from obstruction of justice to abuse of trade powers to violations of First Amendment rights.
The President of the United States, who has just been impeached, he's now reacting. Jim Acosta, our chief White House correspondent, is about to tell us what he's saying.
Yeah, Wolf, I would say this is a code red at the president's rally in Michigan right now. He is reacting in real time, I suppose, as only Donald Trump can, to being impeached. And, you know, I say code red because he is red in the face. When you see this video of the president speaking at this rally in Michigan, he is red in the face and going off the rails. At one point, just a few moments ago, accusing Democrats of declaring war on democracy by impeaching him, talking about House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in very personal terms, calling her crazy. Nancy talking about.
Okay, this is happening. And I mean right now. Republicans are starting to say the quiet part out loud. They're looking at Trump and they're saying things like impeachable. They're using words like crazy, and they're doing it publicly, in front of cameras, in front of everybody. This is not some fringe Democrat thing anymore. This is not some liberal fantasy. This is his own party, his own people, the Republicans he appointed, the Republicans he campaigned for. They're looking at what he's doing and they're like, yeah, this might be too far. And here's what's wild about it. There's no formal impeachment push. Nobody's drafting articles of impeachment. Nobody's calling for a vote. But the cracks are showing. And when you see cracks this big, this early, that tells you something. That tells you Trump's doing stuff that's actually crossing lines that even his own party has to acknowledge. Let me paint you the picture of what's happening right now. Trump wants to send out $2,000 tariff dividend checks to voters. Sounds nice, right? Free money. But where's it coming from? It's coming from tariffs, emergency tariffs that he's slapping on imports. And here's where it gets weird. He wants to finance it by borrowing from China. Yeah, you heard that right. Borrowing from China to pay for tariff dividend checks that he'll brag about right before the election. Senator Rand Paul, and Rand Paul is no liberal, he calls this crazy. He says it flat out. This is a crazy idea, he says. And he's like, maybe we should just have China send the checks directly. That's sarcasm. That's a Republican senator basically saying, what you're talking about is insane. And that's just the tariff thing. That's just one piece of this puzzle. Trump also wants to nuke the filibuster. He wants to blow up Senate rules so he can get his way faster, so he can pass stuff without needing Democratic votes, so he can be an absolute dictator, basically. And Republicans are publicly telling him no. They're saying, that's not happening. We're not doing that. Senate Republicans are shooting this down. They're standing up and saying, there are constitutional norms we're not going to blow up, even for you. Can you believe this? Trump's own party is standing in the way of his own power grabs. That's how you know he's going too far. But then it gets even worse. Trump gets on Truth Social, which is basically his personal rage outlet, and he calls 6 Democratic veterans sadistic.
Debbie Dingle, that's a real beauty. So she...
Wow, wow, wow. Who can believe that Republican can get tired of Trump? I, for one, I'm still dazed. I'm still surprised because I'm like, this guy has a very strong footing in the Congress. I mean, he's got the majority of the Congress. I mean, the Republican, they rule the House. They are in charge of the House. But guess what? Right now, even the Republicans are saying that this guy has crossed his boundary. They are saying, "Hey, where you are going right now, we might not be able to help you." And guess what? They are saying Mr. Trump is impeachable. Wow, this is a surprise to me because I used to believe that this guy can't be impeached because, I mean, he's got the majority of the Senate and he supported the Republican are in charge of the Senate. And I'm like, is it possible? And you know the worst part of it? Even the judges are against him because he has been violating the constitutional rules. For example, migrants were deported and they gave a court order. The judge gave a court order that you shouldn't deport these guys because they are migrant and they came in legally. They got, I mean, their documentation. Some of them are asylum seekers, and asylum seekers, they have a procedure. But Trump ignored all of those signs, all of those procedure, the constitutional procedure. He ignored it, and of course, he sent them out. And of course, there's this complaint that even Americans, citizens of Americans are being arrested unlawfully. But when most of them says that, oh, I'm a citizen, let me show you my ID, that the ICE department refused to listen to them. And some of them has been abused and their privilege has been trampled upon. And they're saying this can't continue that way. And these and many more other things that has been said against Trump that he is not obeying. He feels that he has become the Lord or the King. You know, don't forget, There was a time a protest happened. They said, no king protest. They said they don't want someone that rule America like a king. We are not in a monarchical system of government. This is a democratic system of government. But Trump is saying, no, I rule the way I want to rule. I'm a dictator. Whatever I say, you guys have to listen to me. And this is exactly the problem. Americans are saying, no, we can't accept this type of rhetoric, this type of government system whereby you lodge your opinion on Americans. Americans are saying they are tired. They want this guy out. And of course, the protest is ongoing. And everybody's saying, yes, he should be impeached. Now the question is, will this become a reality? Will he be impeached? Is it going to happen? Well, all hands on deck. Everyone is watching. And they are saying, let's see the outcome. Let's see how it's going to pan out, because it looks like that once powerful and strong president is looking weak from the inside, because Republicans are also part of this movement. They are saying, hey, you've overstepped your boundary. And of course, you are impeachable. Is he going to be impeached? That's a question that we are yet to find an answer to. Come along with me, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification button so that I will give you an update as to what is going to happen to Mr. President. Thank you for watching. Until I come your way again, don't forget, remain in peace, remain in love, and avoid trouble, because you're too important for this world to lose. Thank you, and bye-bye.